I did a thing. The Nintendo Switch 2 is here. Let's go. For the past 5 years, I've been near exclusive a mobile gamer. A casual one at that though. I just really enjoyed the convenience of it. Dipping in and out with the thing that's in your pocket just made it really convenient to sort of pick up your phone and play games. Especially as I'm a father, I don't really have time to do anything else. I remember seeing the original Switch when it came out, but I just never valued what it offered. The games weren't sort of to my taste, and the power of the console didn't really suit what I was sort of hoping for, especially when my phone could kind of do it anyway. I preferred sort of big open world titles and FIFA, which never really got the quality on the Switch. So I just kind of said to myself that when the Switch 2 comes out, that's when I'm going to enter it. Well, here we are. My Switch 2 arrived yesterday and I couldn't wait to get it open. I was very excited. Obviously, covering exclusively Samsung for the last 2 and a bit years, it's kind of nice to sort of be excited about something different. And of course, with unboxings, when you're a tech YouTuber, you have to film it. I did really enjoy the unboxing style of the Switch 2. I loved the packaging it came in, and also shout out to Sydney Retro, the company that I got my Switch through, for how they actually packaged and almost too perfectly packaged the Switch in the box that it came in, but plenty of bubble wrap, and the game also sitting on top was a nice touch. There's a link in the description to Sydney Retro if you'd like to sort of check out the Switch 2 and even retro games, because they have a whole bunch of titles in there. I did buy my Switch, so relax. There are plenty of unboxing and setup videos on the internet already, so I'm not going to dive too deep into the entire process because you can go to the experts for that. But I do want to say I was very satisfied with how Nintendo kind of packaged this all up. And I guess, to my surprise, probably because I'm not used to it anymore, I was very satisfied with the fact that it gave you everything you need for the Switch 2 in the box. Yes, you can get the Pro controller, but the fact that they give you the little handle that you can attach the Joy-Cons to, I enjoyed that touch because it just meant I don't need to get the Pro controller, or you don't necessarily need to get it. This can be the option for you to use it sort of wirelessly. I will probably get the Pro controller anyway. The setup process was okay. Obviously, I'm used to smartphones where Smart Switch in particular is just you put the phones next to each other, press a couple of buttons, and it takes care of the rest. This was pretty much the same thing. There was a bit of a lengthier process to get everything sort of paired and connected, and then you had to make sure both devices had power for a 5-minute transfer. Confused me a little bit because it was inconvenient to have two devices plugged in, but once the 5 minutes was done, you could unplug and it was pretty much ready to go. Very smooth process. My first impressions of the hardware of the console was great. Obviously, my last handheld console was the PSP. Loved that thing. Huge fan. That was the only one that I sort of played exclusively for a long period of time, and then I kind of gave up on the handheld market. I did have an original Switch for the last 2 weeks, just in preparation for getting ready for the Switch 2. I wanted to see what the upgrade was like. And you can obviously see the difference just in physical size. But I don't feel like this Switch 2 is that much bigger in use. And I do like the new Joy-Con attachment style instead of sliding it up, which I accidentally released them all the time. It was easy to just click them in with magnets into the side and then it sort of recognized that they were connected. Love that touch. I have spent a few hours with the Switch playing games in sort of the different ways that it allows you to, and I've got some thoughts about it. I have ordered 2 other games, Hogwarts Legacy and the Hitman Signature Edition. Big fan of both of those on my PS5, at least when I played it over 5 years ago, although Hogwarts was a bit more recent. But both of those games haven't arrived yet. So Sydney Retro chucked Mario World in for me, which was a nice touch. Thanks, Sydney Retro. So I chucked it in. It has been a while since I played like a rally sort of kart style game. I think the last time was Crash Team Racing from the late 90s. That dates me a little bit, doesn't it? After a while playing it, and it took me a while to get used to. Initially, I wasn't very good. But then obviously you play it a bit more, muscle memory sort of kicks in, and I started doing really well with it and eventually did win a game. Get in. Game's not called a game, is it? It's a race. Come on, Daniel. Using the console and sort of in handheld mode, it's very comfortable. I was very surprised with the in-hand ergonomics of how they've managed to keep it actually really sort of thin in terms of profile, but also make it really comfortable to sort of rest your hands in the places where it normally will sit. It's very natural, very ergonomic. And despite the fact it's gotten bigger than the original Switch, It's not too heavy to sort of use or cumbersome to hold for periods of gaming. Compared to using a phone, there is a few differences that I immediately picked up on. I love having physical controls. It's just, I guess, part of the era I grew up in. Tactile, physical touch was a big part of the gaming experience, and I enjoy the fact that the Switch 2 leans into that really heavily. Phones do support it. Obviously, you can get controllers. I think I have one here, the 8-bit Do Pro 2. And, it's great to be able to attach this to a mobile and sort of get that same experience. But not every game supports it. And it's very inconsistent. And you always need to remember to bring it, because if you don't bring it, then you don't have it. So you do mostly have to rely on touch. And the touch controls are fine. The thing is, you don't get that feedback. Sometimes you misfire. Like when I was playing COD before, I missed the firing button all the time. And that can kind of cause a hindrance to the game you're playing. But still managed to get that MVP. I only play one map in Team Deathmatch, so I'm kind of used to it now. The other part of the console experience that I've really enjoyed was the offline nature of it. Because it is a console and the game is built out to a sort of richer level, you've got the option to play offline, and I much prefer that because I can just dip in, pause it when I need to, and just sort of play on my own terms. With online play with mobile, you don't really get that option. I know there are some games where you can sort of roam around, but again, it's still an online game with other players sort of participating for the most part, at least for the games that I've been playing. Then you've got the rigmarole of when you log into the game or when you activate it on the phone, you've got to go through daily bonus, login, updates, download resources. It's just a lot of a process that if you don't have a lot of time, it also sort of eats into the time that you want to play. I don't care about any of that. I just want to get into the game as quickly as I can. I do actually have a full video plan with multiple categories between the mobile gaming experience and the handheld console gaming experience. I really thought that the Switch 2 was like the perfect vehicle to sort of compare this to. I could have done it with the original Switch. That's a 9-year-old device now, so I think it's much fairer to use this new console, and especially with the way mobile processors are heading, there's lots of advantages on that side too. So I'm going to do a full video, hit subscribe for it. There are games that you can download from the Nintendo eShop, which, it's great to be able to have it downloaded on the console. I did with my PS5 just get a digital only, and I regret that because there's always sales on physical games that don't always happen on the digital store. So I think I'm going to be waiting, especially for Cyberpunk. That was a game I was pretty keen to test on the Switch too, but I don't want to spend $120 on a digital copy when I can just go buy a physical one. Of course, the Switch as a concept is famous for its variety of gameplay options. The new kickstand with the Switch 2 is much sturdier than the one that was on the original Switch, and it does give you that option to play on the tabletop. And it was awesome because playing on the tabletop and then the Joy-Cons detaching and connecting into that little handheld controller that they provide for you was a lot of fun. You can honestly tell that EA FC25 is an original Switch title. Like, the difference in output is just staggering compared to what Mario World was showing me. As I mentioned though, that controller coming in the box was awesome because it's everything you need to play the Switch 2 in the multiple gameplay scenarios that it offers you. Tabletop mode, it was comfortable, but I was also really excited to pair it with the dock that also comes in the box. And I've plugged the dock in just behind me here and have it plugged in to this TV via HDMI. It's a really simple setup process because everything you need to set it up comes in the box. You've got the power adapter, which you plug in to the dock, and then the HDMI cable, which goes in the dock and then into the TV. And then that's it. You put the back cover on to hide the cables, dock the Switch in, remove the Joy-Cons, and away you go. You've got full gaming on your big screen in a really nice resolution, crisp, clear, really flows well. It's very enjoyable. It sort of gives me the best of both worlds here. I grew up on proper consoles. I've had every single PlayStation since the PS1 all the way through to the PS5, excluding like the Slims and the Pros, and no one has time for that, at least not me. But in the last probably 4 to 5 years, I haven't had the time to fire up the big consoles as much as I used to. One, it dominates the entire TV. So you kind of just lose, especially with a family, the family lose access to that TV. And second, you've really got to commit time to it to play, time I just don't have. So this hybrid sort of solution gives me that flexibility that I can sit down and play handheld or go and dock it in here, which is really simple. Just chuck it in and then play it on the TV in my bedroom if I've got spare moments to do that. You can just sit down on the bed and just play it on the big screen like it's a proper console. And this is a lot more powerful now. So you'll get that sort of console experience out of it. And then, of course, when you're done, you can either leave it there to charge or undock it and just go sit down somewhere else to continue playing. It's a really awesome solution. And I don't think at the moment anyone can really touch it. I know this is a different style of video. It's a completely different style of video. It's nothing to do with Samsung at all. For me, though, it's all kind of connected because when I look at what a smartphone can do when it comes to gaming, it does give you this convenience of what a Switch 2 also provides you. But I think there's just only some blurred lines in the middle, but there's advantages to both either side of it. And that's what I intend to cover in the coming weeks when I do that other video, because I really want to highlight the advantages of doing both. So if you want to decide or you can't decide whether a Switch 2 is for you or whether you want to continue gaming on your smartphone, make sure you hit subscribe because this will be the video you want to watch. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Actually, you know what? Do this one. See you in the next one.